The quick tip to level up your influencer income game. If you haven't checked out Webfluential yet, you're leaving money on the table. It's Africa's #1 platform for creators, hooking you up directly with brands ready to pay for your influence. With the Creator Pro dashboard, you can chat with brands, manage your collabs, and watch the cash roll in, all in one place. More brands flock to Webfluential than elsewhere in Africa because they know your reach delivers a serious bang for their buck. Ready to cash in? Swing by webfluential.com. Welcome to Micka on Influence, your go-to podcast for bold conversations and impactful insight into influencer marketing, content creation, and the ever-growing creator economy. Every week, we are diving deep into real stories, smart strategies, and game-changing moves, shaping this dynamic space. From top creators to brand strategists, CMOs to media planners, we bring you raw, actionable insight straight from the front lines. This is where influence meets intention. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Micka on Influence. It's the world where we dive into influencing, marketing, and media. So every week I'll be bringing you some incredible guests, and today is no different. Joining me right now, it is Thato Mokhou. She is a digital storytelling or trailblazer in the world of digital storytelling and strategic communication. Thato, girl, welcome to Micka on Influence. How are you doing?
Hi, Mika.
Hey.
I'm all good. Happy Friday.
Oh, yes. Happy Friday. Oh, it's looking great here in Cape Town. The weather is phenomenal. How's the weather on that side of the world?
Is it really? It's starting to get cold up
It
here.
is.
You know, our winters in Joburg are cold and
I
dry.
do. I do.
So you're starting to, feel the chill, and, the garden is also looking a little bit sad. I'm a garden girl, so when it starts looking like this, I'm just like, oh, winter. But yeah, we love change of season. We love change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, all is well in Joburg.
Wonderful. And all is well in the world of tattoo as well. Let's start with, well, your position is senior specialist in social media. Girl, okay, it sounds like you are in the top of the food chain when it comes to the world of influencing. So you're definitely the person that I need to speak to today. Tell us about your journey, how you got started, and what drew you to the industry.
Sure. So, I mean, we all know that social and digital is a very dynamic industry. It's very fast-paced, constantly evolving, constantly changing. And I'm one person that loves being challenged. I get bored very easily. So, when things look different
Hmm.
each day, I'm happy for it. When I'm faced with a new challenge, I'm happy for it. So that's why I kind of ended up in this industry, which was really kind of organic,
Mm,
really. It wasn't really a plan to be in media and marketing. I did do a degree at Wits in journalism.
okay.
So I was much of a like I was more of a
Mm,
writer, and but I still had an inquisitive mind. And at the time, it was around World Cup year, actually 2010, when I finished my honors degree at Wits. And I think with the advent of well, at the time, like I said, so it was social media. It was it was the World Cup, and your
mm,
Facebooks, those
mhm,
platforms were starting to enter the say the culture of like communication at the time. I mean,
mm.
it was still very low key because we were still on like Blackberries
Oh,
and
Blackberry days.
those like old
Yes.
phones that you could only play Snake, and I know Nokia had those like what did they, I mean, it was like a LED, not LED, man, but it was like
Yes,
color screen, but you still couldn't do a lot on the phone.
polyphonic ringtones and stuff.
And when like polyphonic, thank you, girl. So, with the launch of smartphones like
Mm,
iPhone, which opened up a new digital world for everyone. it was amazing to, have apps on a phone and having to access your like Facebooks. And I think that's when like social media took off in in this country. Obviously, like globally, it already started moving that trend. And that was all about like communication and connecting with people online when people kind of started, um, catching the wave.
Mm,
But little did I know that this would become like a big communication
yeah,
channel for big corporates and businesses and companies.
that's right.
So, like I said, I did my journalism degree, I got done, and then I was just like, I don't want to be a journalist.
You were like, nah,
Um,
scratch that.
and at the time, I was like, scratch that, because I'm like, I'm gonna be nagging people, and now you need to go like be knocking on doors with
Yeah.
stories, and like I was like, okay, yes, I love writing, I love communicating, and what better way to do it on a channel that is like dynamic and
Mm,
mobile and ever evolving, etc. So I guess that's how I kind of landed up in this industry. Got an opportunity to work for really big corporates at the time. Um,
yeah.
didn't really take the agency route. Would have been nice to take the agency route
Mm,
because I think that's where you kind of learn more because you get down deep into the
yeah.
trenches of the work.
Well,
Um, yeah, so
that's you.
in a nutshell,
That's you. You're a senior specialist in
yeah.
social media for MTN South Africa. It's a huge entity. What
Mhm.
is your day to day looking like at work? What is your actual job to like? Do you have to like go out and go get influencers, or do you teach them or approach them? How does that work?
So day to day, yeah, so I'm in a marketing
Hmm.
team at MTN, and social media is it's regarded as one of our communication channels. Um, so, and what I mean by that is there's we've got various channels. There's TV, there's print, there's billboards, and like your in-store communication to customers. Then there's your digital platforms that will include social media, website, or your like third-party sites and those kind of things when you do like paid advertising.
Okay.
So, my day-to-day will require, you come in, you log on, and there's usually like campaigns that we are working on. Um, so it's always like a check in with the agency to see where we are with like a particular campaign. You run through the content that needs to go live for that campaign, for instance. And then, yeah, and that's like business as
Yeah.
usual. So to take a step back, I'm, part of the social media team as I've said many times, and we look after the pages, MTN social media
Right.
pages, and that's across Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram, X,
Ex.
and yeah, so we create the content for those pages, and I think that's what I really enjoy most about my job is just the
Mhm.
storytelling for the brand, and it's not just so it's marrying the storytelling and brand um, to sales.
Okay.
So what you call content marketing,
Yes. Yes.
and yes, so in that day to day, so that's basically what we do is just kind of run through the content that's being created by the agency that we would have briefed. So it's much a collaborative effort. And then where the influencer campaigns come in, they also regarded as a channel within digital marketing. And depending on budget, so influencers wouldn't necessarily be part of every campaign that we roll out. It depends on the weight
Yes.
of the campaign and the reach that we're trying to achieve with that campaign. So needing to obviously just also connect with our customers in a more authentic way, then we'll bring in influencers. So I wouldn't necessarily. So I mean, I'll play on the socials, and
Mm.
if Mika is a content creator and she comes up and your content is amazing and you've got all this like good engagement with your community, then I would send that through to as a recommendation to the agency to say, okay, here's Mika, found her, and I think she'll be a perfect fit for our brand. And you would then get contacted via our partner agencies that we work through in booking influencers.
Okay.
So it is a very exciting space. Yeah. And that's, yeah, I hope it makes
Yeah,
sense. So that's kind of like the basic of.
of it. I want to actually dig into what you said with regards to, you go visit their pages on social media. From a senior specialist in social media, what are you looking for when you're scrolling through those pages? What needs to stand out for you to be like, okay, boom, she's the right one, he's the right fit for our brand? What do you need to see that really makes you want to work with an influencer?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, so we look at things like, okay, their numbers.
Hmm.
So how many followers
Followers.
an influencer has, because that has yeah, so that, yeah, has an impact on reach. Um, and that's, I think, a lot of brands, be the first thing that they look out for is, the more followers there are,
Mm,
the more, reach. So we look for like quality engagement
mm.
on the influencers channels. So
So a lot of
are
comments that
the
the
followers or
followers.
the
Yeah.
community, yeah, so are they commenting on the
Mm.
content uh, that the influencer is putting out?
Okay.
And, is it positive engagement?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And is it authentic? Uh, is it authentic? Is it relatable? And, is there community trust? So does this
Mm.
community trust what this influencer kind of like puts out, even if it's not a
Yeah.
product, if it's just, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and then we also look at, obviously, there's niche influencers. So there's lifestyle influencers, there's beauty influencers, there's ones who are in music, there's ones that are in tech. So, depending on the product that we would launch, a lot of the guys that we use, or book rather, sorry, they a lot of them are in tech. A lot of them would be like in gaming,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
because our core offering at ATN is our network, right? So you want to see our network in action through things like gaming and tech, and like maybe streaming at home, those kind of things. So yeah, so those are kind of like a few things that we look out for
Okay.
to match our brand.
I like that. I think you've given us
Yeah.
some insight into. So, if someone's watching right now, they can go to their platform and see, is there positive engagement? Is there a community? Are they,
Mm,
engaging positively? And that's something that you could maybe work on, and then check at your content and see how you can adjust accordingly. So, yeah, brands like MTN
100%.
is
Yeah.
watching. They're always watching. Talk to me about the rise of new social media platforms and technologies, especially when it comes to the AI world and virtual reality. How will it impact the influencer market?
Yes. We are in the AI
Yeah,
era, like it or not. It's
not,
here.
not.
So we need to and have to embrace it.
Mm,
Yeah, it's not a matter of if
yeah,
or when, it's a matter of
it's now.
now. So, and it's touching every industry, or affecting every industry,
Yeah.
impacting, actually, it's a right word. So, yeah, so AI is already changing the game. Uh, and we've seen the rise of virtual
Mm.
influencers. I don't know if you've seen some of those,
I
and
did the scary, like
um,
four-dimensional
to
dolls. That's like, well, not scary. Like they are influencers, but
dimension
they're not
dolls.
like real. They're like animation.
Yes, yes.
That's crazy.
But it's done in such a real way that they actually, yes, you can see they are not like a real
Yeah.
human, but like even the way they speak and how like the audio is like it's so well synced to like how they like
Yeah.
deliver a message. It's crazy, and they have like tons and tons of
They
followers,
do.
and 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 for me, it's like I think it's it's more like people being probably like
Mm,
fascinated and curious
mm-hmm.
about what a virtual influencer is, and the capabilities. So no, that's the one part. We've also seen like generative content creation, and also like there's obviously fear around how like this AI will replace like human creators.
Mm,
Um, well, I think that's still kind of far
yeah.
from now, because we still are about the human connection, the
Yeah.
humor in that, so robot wouldn't necessarily pick up the nuances that are happening in
Yeah.
culture and kind of make fun of it in a way that is relatable and we'll all like laugh, you know what I mean? So it'll still seem a little bit like clinical unless you feed that AI like a couple of jokes, but you still need to be a South African
Yeah.
to South Africanize content. So I think we're a long way off to the these influencers kind of replacing human
Yeah.
creators. Um, but I think it can enhance capabilities. So think of AI, right, as a creative assistant. So that can help creators kind of test their content formats, personalize their messaging, or even localize like at scale.
Yeah.
And those are the tools that like Meta and them are already offering to creators, like on Instagram, for instance. So because it's a hard
Yeah.
job to create
It
content, it's a
is.
full-time job. So if you have like a tool, an AI tool that can help you um, respond to a brief from brand, then it's just a matter of you showing up, having your ring
Yeah.
light, and it'll probably do like a nice script for you as well that you can act out, for instance. So
Yeah.
that creative process is already kind of like chopped out, right, in your content creation.
Mm.
So, it's all about using that AI to your benefit. And then as for like virtual reality VR, uh, and the metaverse, God knows
Ooh.
what the metaverse was. It came and it left.
Okay, wait.
Or it's probably still around, right?
No,
I think it's still early,
it's
right? So
very
Meta is
much
still called Meta because
yes.
they want to live in this metaverse, Zuckerberg and them. So
Yeah.
I guess for it's still early, and for us in the third world, us in Africa, like sadly, sometimes we catch on these trends much later. But I'm sure, like globally, the trend will start picking up.
Yeah.
And the nice thing with things like metaverses, obviously, is just like imagine like brand experiences, right, that are fully immersive. Um,
Wow.
and what it's going to
Imagine.
do is probably take you away from like physical activation spaces, right? So
Yeah.
you can experience all of that online, with influencers that are kind of guiding communities in that experience,
Mm.
um, through different spaces. So again, it's about storytelling and how brands can create stories within those spaces, right? And it's not just about the 3D experience.
Do you see that happening
So
though?
I mean, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Like with virtual
AI is here.
virtual reality.
So so virtual reality has been around for a while, right? So I don't know if you've seen like the
I've
the
I've had it
goggles,
on.
the virtual headsets,
Yes, my brother actually has a
right?
device.
So
It's wild. It's wild. It scares me. It's very
yes,
immersive, like you said. I just want to mention quickly.
yeah,
It's you go into this room and you are able to hear other people's conversations they're
yes,
having, and they sitting in different parts of the world, but they're all connected to this one virtual
yeah.
space. I think that's crazy. That's really scary. Yeah.
It is, but it's
Yeah,
outworldly.
it's
And
outworldly. That's a better word.
yeah, so and for me, like it depends, right? Like what tickets are fancy. So like those kind of things for me really excite me. Um
Okay.
and y- yeah, it's like the world of technology
Vast.
is endless, it's infinite.
Wow, it really is.
So so I think it will I think we'll catch up to it. It's already there. It's just a matter of catching up to
Mm,
it. So and and our marketing spaces. So especially if it's in companies that are more traditional,
mm.
like an MTN is a traditional corporate,
Okay.
uh, and strategically they are looking to, or it's already happening, right? So transforming the business into not necessarily a telco but a techco.
Hey marketers! Got your coffee ready? Good, because Webfluential will make your influencer marketing activity much easier. As Africa's top creator platform, trusted by brands in over 130 countries, we are built to deliver results at scale. Our AI-powered matching finds you the perfect creators, and our end-to-end system takes care of the nitty-gritty, like contracts, payments, you name it. Plus, real-time dashboards gives you the numbers that matter: cost per acquisition, return on ad spend, and actual sales lift. Ditch the spreadsheets and get a platform that turns influence into revenue you can count on. Sign up or contact the team at webfluential.com and see the difference for yourself.
Welcome back. Thato Mokhou joining me, senior specialist in social media for a big brand, MTN South Africa. Come on now, make some noise. Thato, what advice would you give?
Pa, 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 pa.
I love that you make your own sound effects. It's very original. I'll have some next time now. You're giving me an idea.
Must be my own hype man.
You have to be. You have to be. Um, what advice would you give aspiring influencers or marketers starting out in the field? What would you give, let's say 3 points for each of them?
Sure, girl. Three. Okay.
Do you want to give more?
I think first of all, no, no, no. I can give
Okay,
three.
cool.
um, so to influencers,
Yeah.
right, and marketers, or just
No,
influencers.
both, both.
Okay. So I think to both. Okay. So gosh. So influencers. I think most important, and what I've seen work, um, especially with the influencers that we've have like a long standing relationship with, a long partnership with, or we kind of use them,
Yeah.
or recurring campaigns, are influencers that have found their voice and their niche because they are comfortable in that space and they can create content for brands and fit brands into their space. So it doesn't look force fitted.
Mm,
So whether you're in gaming, whether you're in tech, whether you are in lifestyle or beauty, um, stick to that and make that work for you. Because the more you do that, the more your community will grow because of the good content that you're creating
yeah.
and the performance of your content, your engagement, um, and then that will attract brands because of that good performance on your channels. And also, like, not every brief is for you, right? And that's
Mm,
okay.
mm-hmm.
So yes, I know, like, it's about the money sometimes and you want to take every, but I think they just, as an influencer, I think you need to just look at what is being asked for from the brand and seeing if it does fit, what I just described now.
Yeah.
Does it fit your
Yeah.
voice? And if you can't deliver it in your voice, then it's not going to be authentic and your community is not going to receive it the way that it receives, like your usual content. And I think consistency is
Yeah.
important.
Consistency.
I read a quote the other day, because I'm a student. I must flex.
Yay. Woo-hoo.
I'm a postgrad student. doing my master's.
Well done,
Woohoo!
girl. That's really
So
impressive.
now, like academic things, I saw academic things, and this quote was in during a
Yeah.
lecture, and it said, "Success is not about." Oh gosh, now okay, so yeah,
You can
so I need to
rephrase.
like read it again, but so consistency is about so success is about
Mm.
consistency, and it's it's not about like finishing a task or like doing something exceptionally well. Literally, it's just like about how consistent you are
Hmm.
in what you're doing. So back to my first point is in your niche, in your voice, doing your content really well, being consistent and regularly posting content. Um,
How
I think
regular
that's
though,
going to help a
would
lot.
you say?
And yeah,
Like once a week, three
hey
times a
Mika.
week? How regular would we have to post content, in your opinion?
Hmm. I think like 3 times a
Three
week.
times. Okay. I guess, yeah, that's fair.
On your feed, but then like stories you can do like
Yeah,
daily. Stories is so
yeah,
quick. Um, and if you're content creator, it's very easy for you to switch on your camera and like, hey, I'm here and doing all sorts of things, like because you're so comfortable in that
yeah,
space and that's what you
yeah.
do. Not for me. This is why I'm just behind a laptop and I'm reviewing the content. But like as for like content creation, I all respect to all creators out there. I think
Yeah,
they're doing a brilliant job. I think it takes so much talent to do that.
yeah.
So like on stories, I think it's very easy to kind of like do like a daily thing there.
Hmm.
But if you're going to do like long form, like nice, really polished, edited pieces of content, three minimum,
Yeah,
3 days a week is
I
decent.
think so.
Um, Yeah, so looking after your community as well is, I think, important. So consistency and community before the money, I think,
Mm,
are quite important. Because if you don't have those in place, then you're not really going to get the money if you haven't built up that community. And then for marketers, fellow marketers, I would like to say, do not treat influencers like they are media replacements or media placements rather, sorry.
wow. Yes.
They're not a billboard, they're not a radio ad, and they're not a TV ad. They're not a squeeze back where you're just going to give them a product and a price point. Allow them to be creative. You are a creative collaborator with them and allow them to tell the story, obviously within the parameters of your
Yeah.
brand. There's obviously things, there's still a tick box exercise that we need to do as a brand to say, okay, they obviously are using yellow and not red for Vodacom.
Mm.
There's a brand mention at the right places, not at the end of the content, at the beginning of the piece. You are mentioning, who this piece is about or which brand you kind of are creating the piece for. um and it shouldn't really so the content piece shouldn't don't force them to kind of live read
Yep. Yep.
like what they are creating,
Yeah.
or so allow them to create it in their own way that is relevant and relatable to their community because it'll be better received,
Mm,
right? So we need to treat them like collaborators. So
such a good point.
what we do is we so before they go and shoot the content, they need to kind of give us like a brief um, outline of what they um,
But they think,
how they understand it,
yes.
right? Yeah, so it's almost like a creative concept. Okay, so this is how I see translate
Yeah.
your brief and how I'm going to um, present your product in my content,
Uh,
like of a better
yeah.
word. Then we kind of look at that, and then before they go and shoot, then we say, okay, then we have like a creative collaboration. So we say, okay, no, do this, don't do that, maybe this, maybe that. Let it be part of your lifestyle. Let it be part of your show the utility of the product fitting into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I mean about the creative collaboration process. And um, what I really love is, building relationships with the influencers and not seeing it as just a transaction, because they're also people,
Yes,
and
that's
they helping your brand um, grow.
yep.
They telling stories for your brand, obviously guided, not full creative license, but yeah. So that's why I enjoy the space of work of the work, because of the relationship that I have with like the agency who manage the influencers and the influencers themselves.
Mm.
They're
They
human.
are.
They're human, and they are, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Talented human beings.
I love that you mentioned that because they're
um,
not just the transaction, they are human beings and they're here to add to your brand and collaborate.
yeah,
And I feel like a lot of times
exactly.
that message gets missing in translation, and it really shouldn't. It should be the core fundamental, basis of any influencing and brand relationship. It should start there,
Mm,
seeing how can we benefit you. We'll compensate you, but add your own spice, add your own flair to it, do it in your way, and bring a different side to it, because
yes.
that is what the audience of the influencer at the end of the day want to see. They don't
Mm,
want to see them transform now into like this perfect puppy that is now on their phones when they were never like that, you know?
yeah. And if the content is an obvious ad, people are just going to scroll past
Yep,
it,
yep.
because I think people, there's this influencer fatigue on social where you're like, oh, it's an ad. But if you make the ad, I don't want to say beautiful enough, because now I'm just like, oh, it must be polished. It must, um, if it's done in your style,
Mm,
your usual style, then it will make people stop and say, oh, wait, okay, this is nice. Oh, okay, so this is how you use this product from L'Oreal. This is how you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be jarring.
yeah, yep.
Um, Me personally, that's what I ask for when I run these campaigns.
Ah, I love it. All right, let's break away from the hard questions just for a
Yeah.
little, Thato. If you had a digital superpower,
Okay.
what would it be? Putting you
Hmm.
on the spot.
I would multiply myself, clone me.
Clone me.
So
Not clone me.
I would walk into a machine,
Okay,
digital, yeah,
I like that.
clone me, and then so this Tato one will go to work, Tato two will be mom, Tato three will be the student,
Yes.
Tato three will live her best life, um,
Tattoo 3 will live.
traveling the world.
I, actually, that is actually brilliant.
You know what I
Low
mean?
key.
So at least I'm present here, here, here. This one is okay. So you're getting money from me here.
Yeah,
This one, okay, you're present with the kids. You're present with the husband. Okay, you're getting a hustle.
yeah.
Ne? There's like a side hustle, so you're making more money. And then
The
the
real.
real
Okay.
me is taking money here, 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 and then I'm traveling the world.
Taking a
I'm
bit of everything.
not adulting. I'm not. Yes, because there's tattles here that are taking part of the responsibilities of life.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, this one is just like
Mm.
girl living her life,
Spa dates,
seeing the
relaxing.
world,
Mm.
meeting hot men in Italy,
I love that for you, Tattoo 4 or Tattoo 5.
not worrying about anything, because adulting is a scam.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes, preach.
I
It
can't even
really
tell
is.
you.
It really is, actually.
So AI must do that for us.
Okay, when you open your phone in the morning, what is the first app you go to?
My Bible app.
Oh, that's sweet. Start the day on the
Yeah, so
right
I
note.
read. Yeah, I have a pop up.
Yeah.
So it sends a notification of a daily verse, at like 5 a.m. And if I'm not
Stop.
awake, then by the time I
Early
wake up,
girl.
that's the first notification that I see.
Okay.
And I go into it and read the verse of the day.
Oh, I like that.
And that usually sets the tone for me for the day. Um, Quite a spiritual girl. And yeah,
That's
God
beautiful.
is my guide
Yeah.
every day, my North Star.
Yeah.
So I don't start the day without a prayer, without guidance from the Word,
Mm.
and then I know everything's going to be okay. No matter what comes at me in that day, I just remain grounded in that.
I think that is so powerful. Really
Yeah.
powerful. Okay, third question. If your digital career had a theme song, what would it be?
I'm better when I'm dancing. Yeah.
Better when
Better
I'm
when I'm
dancing.
dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cute. I like that.
My Megan Train. I don't know if you know the song.
Yeah, I love Megan
Do you
Trainor.
know the song?
Na, 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 na. It's starting familiar. I know a few of her songs. So I'm like, okay, cool. She's killing it. Hashtag me too. Love that. Love
Okay.
that for her.
Friday feelings.
You see, she changed the lyrics of Super Bass just a little. She don't have that much bass now. Now she has to like change it a little when she's
Oh
performing
yeah,
it. Yeah.
because I'm
No,
all about that
about
bass.
that bass.
That
No
bass. No
trouble.
trouble. I'm
But now she's like,
no trouble.
I
Lovely.
love me some Megan Trainor. Okay, what campaigns have you worked?
Or even pata pata
Ooh,
pata pata pata
uh,
pata
uh-huh, uh-huh. You
That's like my toddler's favorite song. She'll sing it from beginning to end.
That song
My
grew on me,
3-year-old.
honestly. I
I swear.
At first I was like, "What in the world
Hey,
is
look.
this? Bruno, what did you do with Rosette?"
Mm,
And then, it was on repeat and also my toddler's singing it a lot. Yeah, now I'm like, I actually like it. It's like
yeah,
vibey. Now I'm there with the shoulders. Pata,
it is. And then we sing in the car, and I'm like,
pata.
yeah. So those two songs, okay.
Okay, pata
The
pata
two songs.
and better when
You
I'm
said one,
dancing.
I give you two bonus.
I will accept the two. I
Yeah.
will accept the two. Uh, the next thing I want to
Raise my
ask
hand.
you, what's a campaign that you've worked on that really made you smile?
Wow. Sure, girl, I'm gonna have to think.
Okay, you can think.
Okay. I had it on my notes here. Let me see where I wrote it down here.
I'm curious. Sounds
So the Guijo campaign actually made me smile.
no way,
Yes.
really.
Let's rewind back to 2023 Rugby World Cup year when we won World Cup back to back.
Go Booker, go
Springboks.
Booker. I
Uh,
love it.
that we Oh my gosh, yeah. So that was one of like the most amazing sponsorship properties I've worked on in my career at MTN. I'm so grateful for that. That was a proper
Really?
highlight.
That's crazy because I told you just a
Um,
bit before we started that I did a small little segment for the Guijo campaign on TikTok, and that was back in 2023, if I'm thinking correctly
yes,
now. And that's where we had to create.
yes,
I think the
yeah.
Guijo is like a little, almost like an anthem, like something you sing at a sports day that you
Mm,
create, like a hype up. I was that girl that was in sing
yeah.
songs when it was athletics, so it was all about the sing song squad. I took it seriously. Okay, I was there for 8 hours. I took it seriously. Yeah, no, no, no jokes.
Nice girl commitment.
Super commitment. I
I love that.
I had a goal to not have a voice the next day. That was the goal because I had to sing it all out and
Oh
lay it on the
wow, you
pavilion.
went right
And we
in.
won Spirit Cup. Come on now.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know.
So yeah, Guijo was definitely one of the ones that are memorable for
Yeah.
me. Because so I mean, the campaign alone was end to end. But anything that ties to youth empowerment,
Mm,
or just working with youth for me is always like amazing. So Guijo was one. There's also well, I didn't directly work on like our youth campaign, but there was a youth hustle hub that we it's a platform that NTN um, has for youth who are in the hustle, who are looking to get help really to be enabled in their journey as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Um, so MTN does those kind of things. So yeah, so the one is tying it to youth empowerment instead of going the celebrity route.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked with young creators. With example, there was Pearl Tusi's daughter that we worked with. Um, we've worked with influencers that are on campus,
Wow.
and um, it helps kind of build a narrative from grassroots level, and it's very real, right? Because they are digital natives and they understand the space more than anyone.
Yeah.
So how they create that content also kind of teaches you,
Mm-hmm.
on like the standard of content for this like social media, I mean influencer space. And a lot of the times you just see the engagement just soars because they just get it right.
Mm-hmm.
They really really fully understand it, and it's not just about the likes,
Mm-hmm.
it's about the shares, it's about the comments. um, and you can see that it really kind of like creates that emotional connection, and not just like emotions like sad or anything, but like in the laughter and um, the jokes, like if you go on TikTok and sometimes people just like go on and on with like on comments and things. And I think, and it's not about like customers coming in and complaining.
Mm.
That's a really another really important point is
Okay.
when we as a brand put out content, customers are very, and I'm not downplaying that customers shouldn't use social media as an outlet to vent when they have when they've had a bad experience with the brand.
Yes.
Um, but they very obviously that's the first place that they're going to go. So as a brand, your content doesn't necessarily receive the same kind of um, engagement
Mm.
that you hope for. But once you do it through an influencer, the authenticity, like then they comment on the content,
Yes.
they comment on the message that they're trying to
Yeah.
deliver. And I saw that in the Guijo campaign. Um, and, Guijo in itself, that campaign involved school
Yeah.
kids who were not briefed, but encouraged to create their own Guijo in support of the box going to France.
Ah, love it.
And they came up with their own chants, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful. And having influencers weaved into that as well, I
So
mean,
important.
does that not tug at your
It really
heartstrings?
does. It really does. It tugs so much that I
Yeah.
don't want to let you go, Tato. But we are at the end of the interview. It's been
Oh,
so great.
is it time up,
Time
girl?
is up, girl. But you know what? You can always come back because there's so much that we
Yeah.
can talk about. And I think you reminded
With
us,
absolute pleasure.
of course, you reminded us why it's important to keep the human essence, the curiosity, and the strategy when it comes to the world of influencing and collaborating that with brands. So
Mm,
thank you so much for joining me. Thato Mokhou, she is a senior.
it's been a pleasure.
Of course, she's a senior specialist, social media specialist rather, at MTN South Africa, so she knows what she's talking about. And if you are following Micka on Influence, please make sure you continue to support us. Like, follow, subscribe on all social media platforms. I love to hear what your thoughts are, though. Engage with me as well. You can go find us on YouTube
Mm.
and support our channel. We're all about bringing influencer marketing and media to you and connecting the dots so that you can understand better. And you know what? Make some moolah in between. So that's what it's about. Thank you, Tato. You did so great. It's been
Yay.
awesome. I hope I can talk to you again.
Awesome. Awesome chat. Yeah.
It's fun.
Thanks, Mika.
It
Yeah.
was.
See you again
See you
soon.
soon.
That's a wrap on this episode of Micka on Influence. I hope you're walking away with fresh insights and new ideas to level up your influencing game. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like, and also share with your network. Join the community obsessed with mastering the art and science of influence. Because in this space, we don't just follow trends, we create them. Until next time, keep creating, keep connecting, and stay influential.